Hello, this is Paul Micarelli, and I'm here with my little son Paul Giuseppe, and we're going to talk about another topic today. And I think today's topic we're going to talk about is mind and the nature of mind and what that could possibly mean. I'm with Paulie here. I'm watching his little 3-month-old mind develop. We've been watching him put together connections and start to become more aware of himself, of us. And it's been interesting kind of watching a little mind develop from being born and just being this completely helpless little creature into something that's becoming a person, a little being of his own, something with personality, something with thought and feeling and emotion. And the mind is kind of an interesting and a mysterious thing, kind of like what I talked about last time with life. The mind is something we refer to, we have a label, but is it really a thing? I'm reading this book right now called Fractal Brain Theory, which is very interesting. It's kind of looking at the brain from the top up and the bottom down. There's hierarchies of layers of interconnected systems going up from the neurons to cortical columns to brain areas to the overall brain, and up and down the different levels of hierarchy of the brain system and how they all kind of intermesh. And the one thing that becomes apparent is that it's extremely complex and almost paradoxically beyond the ability of the brain to comprehend. It's hard for the brain to comprehend itself, just like it's hard for a person to kind of comprehend everything that's going on within their body, all the different processes, cellular, tissue, organs, all the different things that are happening. It's hard for the brain to comprehend it all at one time. It's actually impossible. We got trillions of cells in our body and just billions of neurons just in the brain itself, and all these systems are exchanging chemicals and energy at an extremely fast rate. Genes are being expressed, energy's flowing, cells are being transferred, elements and proteins are being jostled around. It's beyond the mind to really grasp all at one time. So the one thing that I've really come to understand about the mind is the fact that it's the best kind of term besides fractal, meaning similar on different levels. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? The thing that's interesting is that it's what's called an emergent phenomenon. It's kind of like, when does an ocean become an ocean? A drop of water isn't an ocean. A bucket of water isn't an ocean. Even a lake can't be considered an ocean. It's not enough water. But at some point it becomes big enough where you say, okay, this is an ocean. It's the same thing with mind. Two neurons firing off signals to each other isn't a mind. Even some brain states exist where the person isn't fully conscious. The brain might have activity, but that's not even mind. That's not what we consider a mind. We think of the mind as this, in our experience, it's like the singular experience that we're having. It's, we think of our mind as, kind of analogous to spirit, and it's this experience that we have. But, it's not that simple. Really what we experience as mind and this thing that we think of as our state of being, it's a combination of our senses, our thought processes, our bodily awareness, our memory, what we're seeing, hearing, like I said, part of our senses, everything we're experiencing right now. Right now we're experiencing the sun, nice windy day, right, Paulie? I'm feeling him on my stomach, feeling the wind in my hair, feeling the grass on my feet, and you know, again, we can't think of all these things at one time. We can't really experience them all at one time. And me and my wife Loretta, we've run some workshops about stress relief and consciousness and awareness. And I've always likened consciousness to a lighthouse. You know, the lighthouse. Right now my consciousness is going to the drool coming off my son's face. So we'll get that real fast. But, you know, sometimes the mind is startled by loud noises, right, Paulie? Like a motorcycle driving by. But, you know, our consciousness is always like a lighthouse. It kind of focuses on specific things. You know, we have just tons of input coming in, sensory input, and the mind is like a filter. And it's like a lighthouse. It just shines on certain things and lights up, you know, certain experiences. So again, right now, you know, as I'm walking, I'm not really feeling the grass on my feet unless I sit there and think about it and really feel that sensation. You know, I'm talking, I'm kind of looking at Paulie, but, you know, unless I really focus on him and look in his little eyes, you know, then that's the point of my focus. And the brain is really, you know, for all the multiple processes going on, it's a singular kind of experience. And one thing, you know, maybe as a topic for another day is, you know, the idea of mind expansion, especially, you know, with computer devices. You know, I've posted on my blog recently about the Neuralink, and that's something that, you know, I kind of envisioned many years ago. I had a concept called the Apple I Think. It was kind of a fun little thought experiment about what if, you know, we had this, you know, extremely powerful brain processing, you know, computer link up, you know, how would that, you know, affect our consciousness, how would that affect our experience. And I always wonder, you know, what if instead of this kind of singular, linear mental process that we have, what if we have multiple channels, or, you know, even infinite channels of experience that could be kind of turned on simultaneously? What would that be like? Because again, we kind of, you know, even though it seems like we have this holistic kind of experience, it's really kind of like a point almost in our head. It's just this one singular continuous feed of awareness. So there are a lot of kind of questions about going forward in the human experience. What is going to happen as far as mind augmentation and expanding consciousness? And who knows, by the time my son is older and he's an adult, what kind of you know, technology, either digital or maybe even mental technologies, you know, ways to work the mind so that it becomes a more powerful tool. And, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And Paulie's gonna see a lot of amazing things in his lifetime, I'm sure, especially when it comes to advances in understanding the brain and the mind. And it's just, you know, mind-boggling to think about. So that's kind of my thoughts on that for now, and I'll just continue, you know, thinking out loud with Paulie, and we'll think about some more discussions for the future. But for now, I think that's it, and we'll say goodbye. Say bye, Paulie. See ya.